Oh,
What?
I didn't expect to see you with your Halloween mask on.
Yeah, it's my scariest one. Thanks for noticing.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Just kidding.
Well, I guess we're going to talk about Halloween,
We are going to talk about Halloween.
and I'll try not to be any scarier than I am right now.
And thank you for not doing that joke on me.
Who could say that face is scary?
Or you could have said it was a princess mask, but
Well,
that didn't occur to you either.
Okay, I'm in trouble either way. Let's do this. All right. Well, we're back, and we'll try not. That took my mask off, so everyone can relax.
For the record, I don't really think you have a Halloween mask on.
Okay. Well, at least we know you're not delusional.
That's right.
Well, in the spirit of Halloween, we did snap a few pictures as we were driving around this week of, and if you don't know, we have a landscaping company, so we're together a lot. And driving in between jobs, we snapped a couple pictures of some decorations, and they start out pretty simple. This is just, somebody put corn shucks or whatever on
Traditional, very classy.
on the mailbox.
Classic.
Yeah, a little bit of Indian corn in there. This guy is, I don't know if he's waving hello or if he's hitching for a ride, but he's still there.
Yeah,
so
he was one of my favorites. That was very creative.
that's creative. And this was one of our customers' homes, and this is how we showed up to do some landscaping. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a lot of pumpkins, which they were very cool.
Yeah.
But having bought pumpkins, I was like, whew, that's a lot of
That's
pumpkins.
a lot of pumpkins. Well, some of these are more Halloween and some are more just fall. These guys obviously are going for the Halloween vibe, scary, but not that scary.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's kind of one of the things we're going to talk about is how do you celebrate Halloween? This is in that same neighborhood. They just put pumpkins up on the fence, which is kind of cool, and a little autumn themed bow on the mailbox. And there we have Mickey and Minnie. If you're a Disney fan, that was pretty cute. Just holding pumpkins. I don't know if that's how you trick or treat. Maybe you just get your candy out of the pumpkin. I'm not sure. We should have checked it.
Well, and we'll talk about this more later, but that you're just reminding me that we've been to houses before where they couldn't be at the house, so they just left a bowl of candy and just said,
Yeah.
everybody
There are
on
neighborhoods
the-
where that wouldn't work so well.
Yeah.
It would work for the first two kids and
right. Honor system, right?
pick up the bowl and pour the whole thing in your bag. Yeah. It's a short little video that somebody put ghosts in the trees, and when the wind blows, your ghosts are moving around.
They were
Scary,
pretty
not scary.
adorable. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty adorable.
We don't have anything too crazy scary. We've got one coming up at the end that's a little more, but even that is mostly pretty fun. This is actually in behind our house. We bought some corn stalks and Indian corn and did that. And then this is a close-up of the tricolored mum that we bought. I didn't get one of the full mum. I was trying to be artistic. But anyway, we've been enjoying that. That's probably the longest lasting mum we've ever bought.
I love it. Yeah.
Bloomed forever.
It's big. It's beautiful. We've gotten a lot of enjoyment out of that one. Definitely worth the price.
Yeah. Yep. It was nice. And then we just bought a couple funky pumpkins and some gourds to put out by the back door. We actually showed that on our show and tell a couple episodes ago when we were trimming the azaleas, but there's a close up.
Yeah, they're doing great too.
Yeah.
Even in all that heat.
Yeah. It's been hot up until the last couple days.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they've held up well. All right. So before we start this video, we're just going to tell you what you're about to see. This is the house in our neighborhood. Well, they live a couple miles from us in a different neighborhood, but close enough that we drive by it quite a bit. And these guys go all out. This
They are
is
very
the
Halloween dedicated.
biggest Halloween production of any of the homes that we regularly drive past. And they've been doing something like this for several years now.
Right.
So you're going to see mostly skeletons, but also there's like a Jaws replica in the shark in the front yard. When we went and took this video, there's a school that lets out right by here. And I mean, this was just 1 week ago. We're like, we got to get a video of this house.
Right. We had to drive a little too fast.
We couldn't.
For the video.
We were very limited as to what we could do with the driving. So we'll probably show it twice. So here you go. This is it. And you've got this big demon specter on the corner of the house. You have to look quick to see jaws, and there's just all kinds of skeletons converging on the house. And then, oh, wait, now we're going to run next door because look, and there's one on the corner of that house.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess you could say it's a little scary. It is maybe a little more scary for young kids at night. And I wish we could have gotten video of it at night, but it just didn't work out. And also, I'll throw this.
Show it again, or you want?
Yeah, I'll throw this in for free. The flags on the house, the second house, obviously the American flag. And if you're not familiar, that's the Tennessee flag. We've had people come down here and visit and go, "Is that the Confederate flag?" Well, you do see Confederate flags occasionally around here, not a lot, but that's the Tennessee flag. It's the state flag. So let's watch it again just because it's kind of crazy. There's a slam dunking skeleton back there on the basketball, and they're just all over the roof.
Coming out the windows.
Yeah, I think that was Death up by the front door.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And then look quickly, and you can see there's one skeleton on the corner of the neighbor's house. They're about to get it too, I guess. But yeah, they're all in on Halloween. So yeah. So what was Halloween like at your house growing up?
Yeah. Well, we didn't really make a big deal about it. I just don't remember any like, oh, you have to do Halloween, but we would dress up. We would do a little bit of trick or treating in Michigan on October 31st. Some years you would have snow.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
Your costume better be weather appropriate because if it's not, you're going to put your whole costume on and then you're going to put your winter coat on over top of it just to stay warm. And then what are you? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what you are. So,
you're something from the north.
You should probably go as a snowmobile driver every year because that's what would be appropriate.
Well, what you do is you buy your costume a couple sizes too big and then you put it over your coat.
Is that what you're supposed to do?
That's what you do.
See, why weren't you my friend faster?
I don't know.
You could have been helping me earlier.
Well,
so we would do that. You could only go to houses of people that you knew because this was the mid 80s. And I don't know if you remember, but I remember the panic over like, oh no, there's dangerous things in the candy. People are poisoning the candy. There's sharp objects in the candy. And I
we heard that in the 70s and 80s, or in the 70s, because I'm a little older than you. If people haven't seen all of our content, but so I heard about that, razor blades and apples.
Right.
I wasn't eating an apple anyway, so why are people putting fresh fruit in Halloween? I mean, we're here for the candy, people.
Right.
Come on.
I did do a little bit of research on that, and they said for a while. Because do you remember ever hearing like, bring your candy in, like either the police department or the hospitals were offering to x-ray them just to be sure.
I remember hearing that.
Yeah, that really didn't last a super long time. It turns out that was a lot more expensive than they thought it was going to be. And it wasn't actually super effective.
Okay.
Number one, you can't x-ray poison. And
right.
And the even sometimes like they did experiments and sometimes even the metal objects didn't show up as well as they thought it was going to do. So,
crazy.
Or at least from what I was reading, but people love crazy news. So that I think it was more urban legend than actual sabotage.
Possibly.
So, yeah.
Possible. I think the thing that made me think it was fake is that there would actually be people giving out apples on Halloween. I should probably let that go, but I just had to say that one more time. Do you remember anything that you dressed up as?
I remember some kind of weird parrot costume one time.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I wasn't super.
Polly wants some candy.
I wasn't super creative about the costumes. I just wanted the candy.
Yeah.
I think a lot of years you just dressed up as like a hobo. That was like the traditional.
I'm here. I have a bag.
Yeah.
Trick or treat. Don't make me come back with the eggs.
I should publicly, again, just apologize to my younger brother because as the older
What for this time?
Halloween. In fact, I one year I called him up on Halloween because I had so much candy guilt. No, you bring your haul home, right? You spread it all over the floor.
Yeah.
Well, I'm older than he is, and so we'd start trading. And apparently, I'm great at doing a candy deal because I kind of tricked him out of a lot of his candy.
Great for you.
Yeah, yeah. And then later I got saved. I had guilt.
Yeah.
It was bad. I was
Candy
not a
shame.
I was a bad big sister sometimes.
Yeah.
So I am sorry. I will be happy to send you whatever, candy you request. I have since then tried to make it up to him.
Right.
I might give him a call again this Halloween. Say, I'm so sorry. I was a bad sister.
Yeah. Well, I remember, so I've told my story on here before, but I grew up mostly in Evansville, Indiana, but there were about 4.5 years where we lived in Dover, Delaware, and those happened to be the years that were the prime trick-or-treating years for me. And as we're going to talk a little bit about Halloween, some Christians don't like Halloween. They don't want to celebrate it. My dad, Christian minister, but they were fine with it at the time. And so I remember this had to be, just because we moved around so much, this had to be 3rd grade, which would have been the fall of 1973.
Okay.
And so it was kind of a do-it-yourself costume. And I guess it was a combination of Frankenstein and the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Okay.
So we got this green chalk. It was like face paint chalk. It wasn't really paint. It was more chalk. It was, if you got it wet and put it on your skin, it would leave the color on there.
Okay. Yeah.
So I, wanted to look kind of like Frankenstein, but also, I don't know. I was 3rd grade. Don't ask me. And then we stuck a pillow up inside my sweatshirt in the back.
Yep.
So I'm going around the neighborhood holding the pillowcase.
I so wish I could have met you.
walking hunched over.
You needed
and
me
after
too.
about, even as a kid, you think, like, where do they get all this energy and all the things? We get sore muscles doing landscaping and stuff. We wish we were younger, but I was probably 8, and I remember after about 20 minutes, I was telling my dad, my back hurts. He's like, well, we're not up at a door. We're just in between houses.
You were trying to walk that way the whole time.
You can stand up. And I'm like, what if people drive by? I just was like so into it.
You were so dedicated
like you
to
have,
your art.
Yes. Be the costume.
Wow. Was that like a method actor? You were.
I guess.
Yeah. I love that.
Well,
I love that.
What do we grow up hearing? Whatever you do, do it right. With
all your heart.
Do it with all your heart.
That's right.
Do it 100%.
You were not a slacker.
I had to be the Frankenstein hunchback from the time I left my house to the time I got back.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Well, I was crazy, but
that's awesome.
I was a kid. Like I said, what can I say?
Well, so you said your mom and dad were, they were okay with you celebrating. And you said, like we talked about a lot of Christian people would say, absolutely not. It's, it's demonic or it's satanic. And I'm not even going to argue that it's not, or that it could be considered that way.
Yeah.
But I could argue a lot of things could be could be that way because we do live in a broken world.
Yeah.
But for us, it was always just about candy and costumes, and I loved both of those things. But I will say, I think when we first started having kids, there was again that kind of like, oh, if you're a Christian, you can't be in Halloween. You can't take part in any of this. And I wanted so badly to be, quote, a good Christian, that I wanted to follow that rule. And, when the kids were little, we just didn't do it. They didn't know what it was. And so we didn't do Halloween. We just do a movie or have popcorn or just kind of do our own family thing.
Yeah. I think you don't want to get caught up in things that are not godly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I won't go too far down that road, but there was from some sources, not necessarily from my parents or anything like that, but from some sources in Christianity, if you're celebrating Halloween, you're promoting demons and evil things, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that to your kids, you know, and there's kind of the, like, unfortunately, like, this is not what Christianity is supposed to be about, but like there can be in some branches of Christianity, there's a lot of shame. You know, like, here's the rules, follow the rules. If you don't follow the rules, then you're responsible for leading people astray, and you're doing horrible things. And oh my gosh, you took your kids trick-or-treating. So now, you know, demons are going to be more prevalent on the earth and it's your fault or something, dumb like that. I don't know. But to be fair, there are a lot of demonic things that Halloween for some people is about, all things scary and ghoulish and macabre and slasher movies and things like that. And we talked about that a little bit on our last episode. We reviewed a couple of movies and talked about what kind of movies we don't review. And one of the big ones is we don't do scary movies, and we don't do horror movies. We don't do slasher movies. We don't do gore.
Right.
We will do, oh, my brain did that thing, just lost the word. What was Drop? A thriller. It was a thriller, but it wasn't, you know, there were no demons. It's not gory.
Right.
So there's the difference. So, and we talked about how at the theater, even right now, it's like most of the movies are horror movies, and it's just like, we love going to the movies, but there's not a lot to see compared to other times of the year. And it's sad.
Well, for the record, I do think there's an element of Halloween, of course, that I wouldn't want any part of. And some people do celebrate the death or the witchcraft or the demonic. And I don't want any part of that.
That is real.
It is.
And some people are into it.
Right.
And so you do have to be careful.
Yeah. And so again, like, I just wanted to stay so far away from anything that even, you know, seemed like that I think I really encouraged us, like, let's just not do this. Let's not do it with the kids. And I don't know if you remember, though.
Before we circle back to that really quick,
okay.
I just want to jump in and say, part of the reason that we've always been so careful, and this was, you know, we didn't even know this when we were growing up or when we started having kids, but one of the first big horrific school shootings in the U.S., it turned out there were two young men, high school students, who were responsible for that, and I think they died in the whole thing. I don't want to get the facts wrong, but here's the part of it that really stood out to me when they really researched these young men and tried to find out what would cause them to do this, to go to their own school and kill a bunch of people with guns. It turns out that they were really into, you know, scary movies and the macabre and all these things. And one of their favorite movies was the movie Scream, which is a horror movie about people dying, and they're high school students that die, and you find out in the end they're killed by classmates. And so, look, I believe we've also talked recently about freedom of speech, and art is freedom of speech. And people say, well, you know, you should have the freedom to create whatever art you want to create. That's fine. I think that the thing I'm saying, and I think we could say we're saying, is be careful what you fill your mind with, and be careful what you promote. And especially with your children, you say, oh, well, trick-or-treating is harmless. Yeah. Cute costumes, harmless. Yes, that's fun. Let's watch movies where people die in gory slasher forms. Hey, if you're an adult, you make your own decisions. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I'm encouraging you to be careful what you fill your mind with. And you say, well, I'm not a crazy kid, and that's not the only time people have done mass shootings in the U.S. And I think it's usually traced back to some kind of mental problem. And that can happen through demonic activity, which can come to you if you open your mind to demonic things.
Right.
Like, oh, it's really fun to watch people die in gruesome ways. Is that really what you want to fill your mind with? If you're watching this and you're not a Christian and you're like, yeah, I kind of like that and I'm not going to hurt anybody. Well, hey, I'm just saying, be careful. Be careful what you fill your mind with. I'm not saying watching one of those movies is going to turn you into a psycho mass murderer, but some people do become psycho mass murderers. And usually they're messing with things that are not positive, that are not good, that are not godly. And that's one of the reasons they end up the way they end up. So be careful.
Yeah, that's good.
Now
that is good.
We can go back to what we did with our kids.
Well, now I think I need to boycott Halloween. Well,
it's like a lot of things. There's balance.
Exactly. So, and that's so true. And you know me. You've known me a long time.
Yep.
And you know that I can try so hard to, quote, do the right thing that maybe I would take it to an extreme.
Right.
And I think maybe that's what was happening because our sweet neighbor brought over some precious little baby costumes.
This is when our kids were little.
This is when our kids were little. I think the baby was like 18 months and then maybe 4. So actually probably younger than that. Actually, probably maybe not even a year. So like, let's say 1 and 4.
Okay.
And these outfits were so adorable, so precious. And she brings these over and she said, well, these are from my daughter. They were costumes that her kids grew out of. And through the conversation, I realized, okay, the daughter lives far away. She's not going to be able to trick or treat with grandma. Mm-hmm. And I just had this, what I first thought was, well, I'm sorry to tell you, we don't do Halloween and I'm not going to put my kids in your Satan costumes. So
they were not. Satanic.
They were not. They were precious, like little flowers and just cute. But my first reaction was, well, we don't do Halloween because that's the rule.
Right.
And I sat there on the porch and I thought, what is happening to my heart right now? Because as she told the story about missing her children, missing her grandchildren, I felt impressed by the Lord to say,
wow,
you are going to put those kids in those costumes and you're going to let her walk around your little tiny neighborhood and get some candy. And I thought, this can't be right. Like, are you telling me to go like celebrate Halloween, right?
So God is pro Halloween?
I mean, I'm going to have a chat with him, and maybe I misheard him. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But in the moment, I felt like he was asking me to love my neighbor and that it was more important that this sweet grandma got to have a moment with my children.
Yeah.
Really, just because, and she was so good to us and she did so many sweet things for us. I just felt like the Lord was just saying, just let her have this little moment and to take part in, the candy.
Yeah.
We weren't going to be doing any satanic rituals. We just were going to go and have a little afternoon outside in the neighborhood. And so that was the first crack in my little thought, like, that it can only be one way. Like, you have to totally not do it. That's the only way to be a Christian. And I just felt like the Lord was saying, we're gonna put this neighbor above what you think is, quote, the right thing.
Yeah.
And so that was interesting for me.
Well, I think that is a microcosm of the bigger concept of, as a Christian, yes, there are some things that are always wrong and some things that are always right. But following God is less about legalistically following the rules and more about having a relationship with the Holy Spirit so that you can hear when he tells you things like that. And you kind of go, what? It's like when he dropped a sheet down to Peter, right? With all the animals in it.
Yep.
And he says, you can eat from any of these. And Peter's like, no, I know the rules. I can't eat from any of these. And he's like, no, I'm God. I'm telling you it's okay. And that really was mostly about something else. But sometimes God will surprise you and say the thing you think is, never can be this way. I'm giving you a different paradigm. You just got to make sure that you're actually hearing God. That's why you need to work on, spending time with him and recognizing his voice.
And I think also too, because you could take that argument and you could justify all kinds of things.
Well, I did say there are some things that are always right and always wrong.
Exactly. And if you and I, if I told you, I said, well, I think I'm supposed to do ABC, and you said, well, that actually goes against scripture.
Right.
We wouldn't have done it. We would have said, okay,
right.
Obviously I was not hearing because this does violate scripture, so we won't. So that was a very interesting experience for me.
Yeah.
And it just, I really appreciated it.
Yeah, it was a pivotal moment for sure.
Yeah.
And so Halloween in the South.
Yeah.
Talk about Halloween in the South and
Yeah.
how it's different from Halloween in the North.
Well, when we moved here, 21 years ago,
Yeah.
so many things blew my mind. So
Yeah.
many things. Number one, the weather. The weather. We've had Halloweens where our kids came back sweating.
Right.
Just, yeah, it's been hot, hot, hot.
There was at least one where it was pretty cold.
Yep.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a crapshoot in Tennessee. It can be anything.
Yeah. And so that opened up all kinds of costume opportunities.
Yeah.
And then also I think, it's the Bible Belt. We're here in Middle Tennessee. And I feel like people haven't intentionally tried to take what could be a negative holiday, and they have intentionally tried to make it joyful, fun, safe, cute.
Right.
I mean, every other church is doing a trunk or treat with cider and sweet tea and barbecue and fun games. And it was just nothing like what kind of it was. In the North, it's more dark.
And some of them, and some of them, when they advertise it, they would say,
no scary costumes.
No scary costumes. That's what they would say.
No scary costumes.
Yeah.
And it kind of really opened my eyes to how it could be done.
Yeah. You make that so fun that they don't miss whatever else they could be doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a neighborhood close to here, and sometimes we would take the kids over there. It's like a neighborhood festival.
A lot of people left their neighborhood to go to
this
neighborhood because they had such a reputation of, like fun decorations, well lit, it's safe.
It looks like a Hallmark movie.
Good candy. It does.
It does.
It really does.
People out on their front yard with fire pits and, again, hot chocolate and hi neighbor.
Hallmark wishes they lived in that neighborhood.
Hallmark wishes they lived. Somebody probably does, actually.
Probably.
But it was so joyful. And I just thought it just really, again, kind of opened my eyes to, and what a way to, as a believer, to redeem something that is meant for wickedness.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, some people are going to try to take this and make it to be, demonic or satanic or just scary and bad.
Yeah.
But they intentionally took it and made it joyful, community, sharing. Right. Like it's a opportunity to just have fun with your neighbors.
Yeah.
And I really love that.
Well, I love how, and this happens a lot. People can look at something and say, I think that should be different. And so I'm going to work with my friends and neighbors and family and try to make it what I think it should be.
Right.
And, as long as you're making it more positive and, from our perspective, more godly or at least neutral, then, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, that was really fun to see. I think the first time some of our friends were telling us, you need to go over here to this other neighborhood and take your kids trick-or-treating over there. And I was like, I don't know. Is that, 'cause again, like, is that breaking the rules? I mean, we live here. We should only go here. For whatever reason, the neighborhood that we live in is always had nice, friendly people. But, the deal at Halloween is if you don't want people coming to your door, you just leave your lights off. And we would walk around the neighborhood and, 85, 90% of the lights were off. And then you go to the ones that are on and it's like, okay, but you're walking like 3 miles to get 10 houses that actually will. Right. And then they're worried that they're going to run out of candy. So they're like, well, just one piece, which is fine. It's whatever. But, but we go to this other neighborhood and they're like,
it's a haul.
Welcome. Thanks for coming. Here you go. Everybody gets a handful. And, and it's so like generous. Almost every house.
Yeah.
It was just, it was cool.
Yeah. It really was quite a witness to me just of how you could make something so much better.
Yeah.
You know, your brother and sister-in-law do something
Right.
really cool too.
They do.
I love what they do. And they're in Michigan in the cold.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm always trying to keep up with them, but they take a pop-up tent and put it all the way out by the road, and they go out to the road to make it easy for other people. Their driveway's not that long, but just to make it easier. And I don't even remember. I mean, they set up hot chocolate and
I think maybe apple cider.
okay.
But they've got it heated up.
Yep. And they dress up.
Yes.
They dress up every year to,
They both love theater.
coordinated costumes.
So
right.
they love to, just to have really creative costumes and I think
And great
full
candy.
size candy bars.
Yeah.
So they're killing it. They've got the nice candy and they're getting hot drinks. What a great
Hot drinks
way
in a cold place.
to get to know your neighbors
Yeah.
too.
Right.
So, and I was talking with a friend one year and they don't celebrate Halloween and they knew we did and we're all believers. And I totally respect that every family needs to make that choice for your
Right.
family.
Of course.
And I just said, I can't think of one other day of the whole year where your neighbors are actually saying, "Hey, I'll leave a light on. Come on and say hi.
Yeah.
I'll have candy." And
Right.
but you know what I'm saying? It's an opportunity to maybe get to know a neighbor that you've never really had a chance to meet.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not, again, I'm not condoning any of the bad parts of Halloween. I understand that, but
Right.
it is an opportunity that you could take advantage of. And that's what I feel like your family does too. They're just saying, "Hey, let's get out, let's meet our neighbors, and let's be generous. Let's really, if we're going to do it, let's really do it." And
Right.
I think that's really cool.
That's right. Well, that's kind of the positive and negative of Halloween. I had a little bit of history here too that we could have gone into, but I think ultimately, however we got to where we are with Halloween, we've kind of covered everything that we really wanted to say about it. Is that you can make it what you want it to be. So we encourage you to keep it light and fun and positive. And
No scary costumes.
That's, you do what you want, but this is
Full-size
what
candy
we're
bars.
encouraging you.
No, I have rules. No,
But-
I'm just kidding.
But hey, demons are real. The devil is real. And latching onto that or experimenting with that or trying to connect with that and using a particular holiday as an excuse to dive full into that really opens yourself up to things that you don't want to be a part of. That always ends badly if you
Exactly. Yes.
ultimately that's not what you want. And so we encourage you to keep it light and keep it fun. So this is going to come out a few days before Halloween 2025. So we thank you for watching. We hope you have a great holiday. The holiday season is coming up. This is one of my favorite times of the year.
Yes.
So
Yep.
we wish all of you a happy Halloween, and we'll see you next week.
All right. See ya.